All right, so as we're waiting on some folks to show up here, and let me just deal with the logistics aspect, because this is the final review session here coming up to this week of face-to-face. So given there are two classes that we're dealing with here. The first class is the one Eastern West Virginia Community and Technical College. And the folks who are in the Eastern class, right now it's Tuesday, April 9th. So tomorrow, April 10th, at 8 a.m., we will be meeting at Eastern. And the meeting room is on the second floor. I don't remember the exact number. It's 205, 203. It's not a big building. If you're taking the elevator, turn to your left. If you're taking the steps, turn to your right, and you'll see us. Then we'll be there all day. Now, tomorrow, the first day of these face-to-face sessions, we're dealing with the hands-on portion of the course. So what I try and do is in the first hour or so, we'll do like a 30,000 foot view of the solar industry and sort of get you settled in. So if you're running a little bit late, not the end of the world. Then what we'll do is we'll do all of the hands-on tasks. Now, the hands-on tasks not only are to familiarize yourself with the equipment and with what's involved with installing a system, but they also then all meet the criteria of the ETA certification. So by the end of doing all of those hands-on tasks, you will have done all of the things you need to do to meet that particular aspect of the certification process. One of the other things you need to do is have completed 40 hours of training, of recognized training. Now, our online course is recognized by ETA as meeting that. But when I was looking through everybody's reporting within that system, sometimes you haven't noted at the end of the chapter that you finished that chapter. So go back through, just make sure that the system is saying that you've completed what you have indeed completed, because that's really kind of the only way I have to check to make sure you've done the 40 hours. So go through and make sure you've completed those chapters, done the end of the chapter quizzes, that kind of thing. So that it indicates on the system. There's usually on the last page a little check mark. It's supposed to do it automatically, but if it didn't, just go in and check the box. And then the third thing that's part of that certification is to get a passing score on the examination. A passing score is 75%. So there are 75 questions on this exam, and that means that you can miss 18. So don't miss any of them, but you will. I know you will. So that will give you, it's a pass fail on that. If you get 74%, you didn't pass. If you get 76%, you did. So if you miss 17, it's the same as missing 0 as far as they're concerned. But now, if you do not pass on the first go round, there is a retake available, and all of this, the cost of the exam is built into the cost of the course. So you can retake it a second time for free. So there is no charge, but you do have to wait 30 days. So what I would suggest is you take that time to refamiliarize yourself with the material. Usually if someone doesn't pass, it's because they just didn't spend enough time on the material, and so go back in, study it. You'll have a better idea of the kind of questions they're going to be asking. And, second time around, probably do it just fine. You can do it there at Eastern with us when we come back for the next class, or there's an online process you can go through, but that will cost you $14. Not a big deal, but you can do the online proctoring of the exam. But like I said, you got to wait 30 days. After that, you'll be certified. The certification is valid for a period of 4 years. It is industry recognized. So in some jurisdictions, they do require that solar installers be certified. So this will qualify for that. Other jurisdictions may require that the final process, the connection to the grid, has to be done by a licensed electrician. Well, you're not suddenly a licensed electrician. That it does not do that. But usually it's just that final connection. You probably don't want to do it anyway, but you know, the rest of it you could do. And then there is a continuing education requirement. In order to renew it, you can renew it every 4 years, no problem, but you've got to have had 24 hours of continuing education during that 4-year period. Not 6 hours each year. You could do it that way, but just sometime during the 4-year period, have 24 hours. If you're enrolled at Eastern and you're taking some engineering courses, or you take the wind course, or you do something like that, that would qualify. You know, as long as it's related to the subject matter of solar installation, not directly, you know, like any electrical, any construction, any renewable energy would qualify. If you're not there, then we do the Solar Noon Tuesday every week. That qualifies for 30 minutes of continuing education. So if you just join in periodically on the Solar Noon Tuesday, you'll get a certificate of completion if you go in on our website for that. That qualifies. So you could do it for free or take some courses. You know, that's all good. The idea is they want you to remain somewhat educated and involved over that 4-year period. But they're not crazy about you must take this class or that class. There's a lot of flexibility there. I would encourage you to keep it up. You know, you've gone through the process, you've worked hard, you get your certification. Why not just keep it valid? Looks good on a resume, you know, as you go out there, just to have an industry certification. Even if you're going into art history, it looks interesting to have been certified in solar. So it doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt. It's almost free. Let's see, anything else? Oh, if you're coming to the one in Marietta, that's going to be held Saturday and Sunday. So Eastern is going to be Wednesday and Thursday. Yeah, I said Thursday and Friday last time. No, it's Wednesday and Thursday. So tomorrow we'll do the hands-on. Then Thursday we'll do the test prep. So we'll spend the morning reviewing all the questions. And then in the afternoon, you'll take the exam. The examination, you have 2 hours to take it. And you don't have to take the full 2 hours, but there's no extra point getting done early. Then as soon as you're done, you can just head for the hills. So that's kind of the process. Normally we try and accelerate it. A lot of people say, okay, let's not take a full lunch, or let's bring our lunch or whatever. And so we can just speed up the process. So you may be out of there by 2 o'clock. The second day. The first day, it's going to take all day. The labs just take that long. So plan on that. But the second day, not so much. If you're coming to Marietta for the course, we'll be meeting at 622 8th Street. So just put that into your GPS. It's Marietta, Ohio, not Georgia. You may end up in the wrong place. So yeah, Marietta, Ohio, 622 8th Street. We'll start at 8 o'clock on Saturday. Let me just double check that. Yep, Saturday the 13th. So we'll do the hands-on portion Saturday the 13th. And then we'll do the exam prep and the examination the 14th, Sunday. And that's the exams. It's basically the same process, but just one's in West Virginia, one's in Ohio. Christy, I understand you're not going to be coming to either of those. Is that right? I see you're on mute, but is that you'll come at a later date?
Hi. Yes.
Yeah.
Chad and I have been needing to get in touch with you, but we've been like spinning around all week. So, yes, I would like to come at a later date.
Okay.
Maybe we can reach out to you afterwards and coordinate something.
Okay. Yeah. Because we're doing, we're going to have one in June in Marietta, I think is the next scheduled one, but maybe you can arrange with Annie and come down for a visit, and maybe we can even just do all the hands-on stuff, you know, to meet your schedule. Cause I'm putting together labs. So So it may be that we can just walk through all the hands-on just to test out the lab. So we might be able to be flexible as opposed to just doing it during scheduled sessions. So,
Okay, okay, we'll reach out to you. Chad's not here today, sorry, there's like lots of drilling happening. But yeah, we kind of wanted to coordinate something, because I think that he was thinking that he may do the test again.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
That'd be good. And
Yeah.
did you guys see the eclipse up there in New York?
It was so cloudy. We saw a little bit when the clouds broke, but did you get to see much?
Oh yeah, Annie and I drove up to a little town called St. John's, Ohio, which was right at the center of the totality.
Oh,
And we
cool.
sat in a cemetery, and the weather was perfect. It was clear as a bell. Well, not as a bell, but clear enough. And it was warm, 72 degrees. So no, it was perfect. It was really magical.
Awesome.
The thing that I thought was cool is, when you're in the middle of the totality and it's dark, it was dark actually like night this time. And on the horizons, you could see a glow, all around. So it's not pitch black, but it's pretty close. But then as the totality was beginning to fade, you could see the light coming towards you from the west, like dawn sort of racing towards you. It was super cool. I mean, the whole thing was super cool.
Yeah, that sounds cool. I wish it would have been more dramatic here.
Yeah.
We saw the one in Cincinnati in 2017, but we weren't in totality. So I'm sure
Yeah.
that was
Yeah, I
cool.
drove to Missouri and sat in the middle of that one too. So I told Annie we're going to have to go to the next one in Montana in 2044. So she
Oh,
seemed
yeah.
seemed to think that was speculative, that we would. So I was like, oh, ye of little faith. So
You'll get there somehow.
yeah. I said we'll ride our bikes. So
Good plan.
all right. So okay, so that's the kind of the test process. Does anybody, I know we've just got the two of you here, everybody's fading off on us here. Be curious to see how many actually show up. But this one is really to answer any questions from the whole process, because at this moment you should be pretty much done. And if you're not done, try and finish it up. I will give you a heads up that chapters 10, 11, and 12 are not on the test. They're really short chapters anyway, so it's not much of a thing. But yeah, so don't fret too much. It's really once you're done with the installation, chapter 8 is installing the balance of the systems. And chapter 9, yeah, okay, so it's chapter 9, 10, and 11 are not on the test. So but pay some particular attention to chapter 8. Chapter 8 feels like, after getting through chapter 7, you feel like you've already achieved the mountaintop. But there's quite a lot in chapter 8, the installing portion that is covered on the exam. Things, about ladder capacity, ladder safety, how to place a ladder properly, conduit support, so look that over fairly closely. Once again, the math questions are not that they're hard. I mean, most people will struggle with the math, but there aren't as many as you would think. Like I said, you could miss 12 or 18. There are only going to be 9 or 10 at the most of the math questions. So I always caveat that saying, I don't want you to miss all the math questions, but if you did, you might still pass. So don't, normally when people fail, they only fail by like one question, 1 or 2. And when they pass, they only pass by a couple for the most part. So it's right there at that median. So spend the time. Nothing is designed to be tricky. It's all designed for you to, the hope is everybody will pass. But you've got to know the material. So I don't really want to walk through chapter 9 on this or chapter 8 on this, but I will if you guys have any questions specific as you were going through or logistically about the process, the test. Anything? I've only got the two of you here. So Christy, or is it, I know it's, is it Gagey or how do you pronounce your last name?
It's Gage Patton.
Oh, Gage. Oh, Gage.
Yeah,
Oh, Gage is your first name. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. For some reason, I knew a guy named John Gage, and I always think of, when I see that, I think Gage is your last name. Okay. So did you have any questions specifically?
Specifically, no. I'm kind of anxious because I'm more of a hands-on type learner, and I still need to get through the rest of the schoolwork on here. But yeah, I'm just gonna go with the flow, and if I have any questions, I'll definitely reach out to you afterwards.
Okay.
Because I want to do this, so I want to make sure I know the material, like you said, and not feel like I'm trying to memorize some stuff, and then maybe I'm just thinking too hard about it. But
yeah, it's more, I think you should be able to sort it out in your mind. If you understand why things work the way things work. Are you coming to Marietta? Is that right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you've got a couple of days still to get everything done. But yeah, make sure that you make sure the system indicates that you finished a particular chapter. Seemed to me when I looked at yours, you were pretty far along in it. So I don't think that was an issue, but I just wanted to record that you did in fact study that section. So, all right, Christy, anything from you? Otherwise, I'll just chop this short and let everybody study on their own.
Yeah. Well, I'm a little behind.
Yeah.
But it's been good, and I've been able to wrap my head around things more after doing like the intro class and then coming back to this one and even like doing some of the quizzes that were like overlap, because I didn't really know anything about electricity. Like Chad's more familiar with like all this stuff. We were kind of like going through the slides and stuff together, and then he would kind of chime in with some things, but it's been nice to sort of be doing this more independently and like follow like my own sense of logic. So I'm just kind of digesting slowly, and then we've just had lots of distractions at the house. As you can hear, there's a lot going on here today, but so yeah, so determined to get through it, and it's been great. So I don't have anything specific to ask.
All right. Okay, well, then we'll call it a day. And if anybody has a specific question, I'll post this, which is why I'm sort of talking to the recording rather than to YouTube. But if anybody has any questions, just give me a holler. And the phone number you should have, but it's 740-252-6038. So text or call, and I'll try and answer those because time
Can you
is
repeat
running
that one more
short.
time, Jay? Sorry.
Yeah, it's 740-252 6038.
All righty.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll see you guys all later this week, except for Christy. And we'll talk to you. We'll see you then. All right. Take care.
Sounds good, man.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
We'll get in touch with you and coordinate something.
Okay.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.